Hi, Facebook.
Yay. Hi, Facebook. Hi, everyone. We're excited to have you here on a Thursday at 12. I almost forgot about the lunch and learn. So I understand if you did forget, because it's a new thing that we're doing Thursdays at 12. But put it on your alarms or your calendar. We have a special guest today, but you guys are all special too. I'm bringing in special guests, but you guys are absolutely always welcome to share. And so I want to hear from Kathy and Melissa. Melissa, I'm not sure if you are available, but let us know in the chat. But Kathy, how in the world on this day, what is it, the 22nd, 23rd, do you already have 11 orders? And I'm not talking about, like, I'm looking through customer analysis, and I'm not talking about rock wool, lights, pump, one-time shake orders. I'm talking about trios, duos, omegas. You guys really have the orders that will build your business, and change people's lives. Having one bag of shake, it's not going to do it. So Kathy, tell us how you get people on the quad or the trio. Let's focus on that, because you guys are really cranking. Go ahead.
And when you ask me how are we doing it, I'm just doing it in my everyday life. I haven't had a live event, in-person event. We were having team meetings and working toward that, but some of us have graduations and going on vacation and stuff. So my walking partner this morning, I'm like, okay, as soon as we get back, we're doing an event. So I don't really know. I talk to people in my everyday life. It might be on the pickleball court. It might be walking. When I hear of people's needs, I just give them a call and say, I don't know if this will help you. I don't know if it'll change your life like it did mine. But what if it did? What if it did? What do you have to lose? And when it comes to whether they'll do the quad or the trio or whatever, I just tell them I do the quad and I do a shake every single day, which I'm doing right now. And I think people just, if they feel like they can trust you, if they have watched you live your life and they realize that, yeah, you were doing this 8 years ago, you're still doing it. I think that just says a lot. I think it just lets people know, hey, I'm not in this. This isn't a fad. This isn't something I'm trying and next week it's going to be something else. This is something I'm sticking with and it's making a difference in my life and I enjoy making a difference in others.
Okay, Doug's going to help you focus in even more. He's raised his hand. I know he's got a good question for you, Kathy.
Well, here's the thing. When we coach people or we coach ourselves, all of us, we kind of want to say things like, well, you just got to talk to more people. And I remember there was a point with some people where it almost gets frustrating for them because you're like, well, you just got to talk to more people. And they're like, dang it, I know I need to talk to more people. The problem is I don't know how to talk to more people. So when you just say it, because it makes it sound really easy, you know, I just go through life and I just talk to the people that are around me. So my question is this: the variable has to be like maybe some people, I don't know if it's that they're like huddled in their home and they don't actually talk to anybody all day. Are you especially social? Like, what is it realistically? What is an average to above average day of getting out and actually meeting these random people by happenstance? Wait, I don't know, whatever, by chance. What does that look like? And how much activity and what does your schedule kind of look like?
Well, it's not like I'm setting aside so many hours and I'm making phone calls. It might be in the middle of the aisle at Walmart. I may see somebody that I know or maybe just barely know, and I just stir up the conversation. We're in the vitamin aisle, and we may start talking. I'll say, so what are you getting? And I'm looking at him and I just start sharing. Well, you know what? I used to do some of this, but now I've found something that's a lot better. It's making a lot bigger difference in my life. So That actually happened 2 times in Walmart. I was having an event that night, and one of the cashiers was like, Kathy, I saw that tower thing you're doing. And I said, you know what? You should come tonight. And so the lady in the vitamin aisle and the cashier, they both came to the event that night. I don't know how that happens. It just did. But I also know that you can go weeks and weeks and weeks. She said how many customers, but there's many times I go weeks and weeks and I'll talk to a lot of people, or you're investing time in people that you've talked to for 8 months, a year, and sometimes they might just come on board during that time. So it's not like I'm talking to somebody, place the order. I'm talking to somebody, placing an order. It's not always like that at all.
And you're not sitting at a desk going, all right, let me call. No?
No,
You're
no.
not
I
sitting
know a
there
lot
with
of
your
people.
list saying, "Oh, let me see who I could." I think there's a 30% chance if I say the right words to this person. No, you're just
No,
out having a good time, living your life, playing some pickleball, going on walks, going to the store,
yeah,
and whoever you see. But Kathy is friendly, and now we don't all have that beautiful Southern drawl. That it sounds like she could say anything like, "Doug,
I
you
think
just look kind of fat."
What?
And it would be like, oh, that melts my heart. But we can all say, well, so what are you buying? What are you buying today? In the vitamin aisle, because some people might be scared to even bring it up in the vitamin aisle. But I think it's because they're thinking ahead, thinking they're going to think I'm selling them if I ask that question. Then it leads to Juice Plus,
right.
and it's like, well, and the thing is, you're not actually saying, oh, they're in the vitamin aisle. Yes, I'm going to go get them now. You're just literally saying, oh, what's going on? What are you buying?
I'm just walking through. I wasn't stopping in the vitamin aisle. I don't need the vitamin aisle.
Okay, I was
But
wondering what you were doing in the vitamin aisle, Kathy, to be truthful.
I was just walking through to go around the corner, and I see this lady, and we just start talking. And I think the main thing is when you show interest in people other than Juice Plus. So that's the key, I think, is just showing interest in people, and um, letting them know that you really do care about them and their family. And it doesn't really matter if they ever start Juice Plus, you care about them, not just you care about them if they order Juice Plus.
Yeah,
Well, we're gonna
that's
have
awesome.
Kathy back a different
Thank you.
time. I don't want to take up too much time from Kristy, but I do want to recognize Melissa. Melissa, you also have 11 orders already this week. And I accidentally sent a congratulations to my massage therapist, Melissa. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. I'm
Congratulations.
sorry. I'm in the car and I'm not in my own car, which is why I don't have my camera on because I don't have my phone sitting somewhere. I'm
Okay.
almost home.
Don't worry.
So yeah, I like a lot of what Kathy said, and I think it's patience. It's being patient and waiting for people to get to that spot and making sure you guys can hear me okay, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And making sure, yeah, you're loving on people and stuff that's not Juice Plus. Like I decided this month I'm going to reach out to every customer. I got about a third of the way through and I just sent them like random stuff that related to them. Like if they'd come to a salad party, hey, here's a cool salad. I want to try this. Or like, have you ever tried your Omega on your face? Like nothing, no pressure, just like convo. Not even having to do with Juice Plus. I'm not as friendly as Kathy. But I do make it a mission that I do make it a mission that when I go out, I try to talk to people. I'm not that forward if I'm like, hey, those avocados are green. Like that's a bonus for me. Like I just try to make any sort of conversation. Okay, now I'm stopped. But customer wise, I think just getting people to trust you and care about you when you care about them where they are. Like my friend that ordered yesterday, I just met him a couple weeks ago and we've just been talking about stuff, sharing about our lives. And then Luminate. getting people to order Luminate and reorder Luminate. I had a friend order, and I have been working with her probably for 2 years from the cat community, finally ordered. And she was like, I don't know, my Luminate didn't do anything. And I'm like, some people notice, you had to wait a little longer, try it a couple more times. And she did. She's like, you know what? I think you were right. So then she went in and reordered. I also went out on a limb the other day with 2 women, and I was like, hey, I'd like to put in a shopping cart for you with what I recommend, what I use. Can I do that for you? So I just need your email address. So one, I didn't hear from yet. The other one was like, yeah, that's perfect. And I want to try that stuff that helps Aaron concentrate, because I keep telling people about, my husband's doing his doctorate, and he's like, he still takes a Ritalin. He's like, I took my Ritalin, I took my Luminate, I took my Juice Plus, I'm going to go study. So I'm telling everybody that because he's plugging away. He's getting so much work done when he uses it. And feels good. So Luminate, yeah, I think it's just patience and loving people where they are. And yes, getting out and meeting people. Like, there are days you can definitely, like, I'm that person sitting at my desk, like going through social media, going through also being good at having a memory jogger. Like, it really is all the stuff you learn in the beginning. And then just one day it just kind of, you just have to keep doing it. It feels frustrating sometimes if it's like Kathy said, I'm not talking to someone today and getting an order today. That's awesome when that happens. But and continuing to have events, because some wise lady named Sharon Farrar told me to have an event once a week. Don't complicate it and don't worry about the results, just do it. So
Oh, that's a good lead in to Kristy. Thank
all
you.
right.
So now I'm going to tell you,
Thank you.
do 30 events in 30 days. Just kidding. But that's a lead in. Thank you, Melissa. I was going to ask you about those Luminate orders, because you have gotten a good amount of Luminate orders. And I think it's because you're naturally sharing, which we all want to do, what our experience has been, or you're sharing somebody else's experience, and other people can do that. If you don't have a particular experience, but that it's helping Melissa's husband concentrate and he's in graduate school, why not share that story with people? I think a lot of people have problems focusing, and so they would be open to that. I keep telling my son Matthew that girl at work needs it. she's a mechanic at his shop, and I'm like, the mistakes she's making, she needs Illuminate. Anyway, so that's a little joke for you guys. Okay, so Kristy is joining us here. She's on Amy Getz's larger team. We're on Amy Getz's larger team. So we call that sideline buddy or cousin or whatever but I haven't actually met Kristy in person. And that's just how wonderful maybe we have, but I don't remember us having a conversation. But that is how wonderful our company is and how open. And I had heard about her from Amy. And also I received a page where I was like, wow, this is amazing how she put together this page. So maybe you could talk about that too. But Amy says that, Kristy challenged herself and she's really moving forward with the events she's having. And I just want to say, Kristy, that if you also can focus on us team building from events, because I really believe events help bring people together and give them that picture of maybe becoming a team member. And it's so funny that Lee Haddad asked me if somebody on our team during their sourdough party is introducing the business. And I'm like, I don't know. I think we're so worried about including Juice Plus and the fact that we're making bread that I'm not sure that we are introducing the business during our sourdough parties. So I was like, wow, that's a different way of thinking. So Kristy, I'm going to give you all that. Plus you met some of our team, and hopefully that got you warmed up to just share with us what's on your heart and mind, and what, maybe how you feel about the Juice Plus business, what your focus is, and the last few months, what's been happening.
Yeah. Well, thanks for inviting me. My mind's like all over the place thinking about all these things.
That's probably because of me. Sorry.
As you guys were sharing, I'm like, oh my gosh, I should share this. Oh my gosh, I should share that. Which I love, right? We can just be who we are. And this is actually part of what I'm going to be sharing on Wendy Campbell talk on June 6th, my little plug. But we just get to be us. Like, we don't have to be somebody else. We don't have to be our leader. We don't have to do 30 events in 30 days because that's crazy. I still think it's crazy. Like, I still look back, I'm like, how did I do that? Like, I will not probably ever do it again. But I think one of the most important things, so let's go back a little bit, I guess. So I've been in the business since the November of 2017. And I worked at a dental office for like, let's see here, 16 years as an office manager. And my health journey has been more gradual, like over like years and years and years. I feel like a lot of people get into health and nutrition because they have like a health issue or their family member has a health issue or something like that. That was not my story. My story is other people in my life were trying to be like, hey, you know, me or us, right? Like us, what we are now. They were in my life, and it took me a while. So like, I get how hard it is to make lifestyle changes. And so I was on this journey. I was really already on our mission when I was introduced to Juice Plus, to inspire healthy living around the world. I just wasn't making any income doing it. um, and it's actually funny because my husband and I would talk about the fact that when we started a family, like I was going to quit my job and all these things. And he's like, well, you should do something at home. And what would you want to do? And I'm like, it'd be really cool to do like events, like teaching people how to be healthy. Like I literally described stuff that we do with Juice Plus, which is just so funny. Even though when Juice Plus came to my life, I was like, no business. I just want to be on the product. But that was 10 months after I heard about it. So basically, Ethany Defoe shared it with me. She was a patient at my office and invited me to an event. We'd always talk about health and nutrition. I went to the event. I had just gotten on expensive, I'm sure you guys have had this situation either yourself or with other people, but I had just gotten all these expensive vitamins from a functional medicine doctor. So I just was kind of, I don't know if close is the right word, but I'm very practical. And so I'm like, well, I just got all this. I'm good. I'm healthy. Like, I don't know what that's all about. And I wasn't like against it. I just wasn't like, I did not understand that it was food. Of course, they said it was food. But I just really didn't get it. And so Ethany did not give up on me. She wasn't obnoxious. She wasn't, I really did truly feel, going back to what you were saying, Kathy, that Ethany cared about me. Like, I didn't feel like she was selling me something. And so 5 months go by, and my husband and I were newly married and watched this documentary called Super Juice Me, where 8 different people with 22 different diseases basically juice. Like, that's all they do is juice fruits and vegetables. And so they have these transformations, and my husband looks at me and says, after it's done, we should do this. I'm like, what? So anyways, we end up doing it. And then I'm already trying to inspire healthy living. So I'm like, well, we should go on Facebook once a week and, share what we're doing, how we're feeling, the benefits, all these things. So we do that. I get all the benefits. I understand how much money now it takes, how much time it takes to just flood your body with nutrition, right? Just that variety. And I was probably getting 6 to 8 fruits and vegetables a day with that program. We did the exact same program they did. And so fast forward 5 more months, I'm thinking about getting pregnant. I'm a researcher. And so because Ethany had been like continuing to invite, she finally gets me on a 3-way connection call. Didn't want to be on it, by the way. but I got on it because I knew she cared about me. So like, it's just funny now looking back at it, and which is just crazy because I think, oh my gosh, because at that point she was being pretty brave, because I'd already kind of said no thank you at this point. Just and not like a mean no thank you, but just, I'm good because of this, and we can't afford both and all these things, And so I got on that 3-way connection call, and that's what really did it for me. I cannot overemphasize 3-way connection calls. They are or 3-way connection texts, or 3-way connection faxers, or like whatever you can do to have that third party validation. It's like a little magic wand. It really is. And again, I think it's just somebody else saying in maybe different ways, or maybe the same, what you've already said, and feeling cared about, right? Again, by another person. And so basically I get on the product, but I become a partner the same day. because I'm very frugal. And so I was like, oh, I like get my money back right away. So this is kind of a no-brainer. If I share it, I share it. If I don't, I don't. She's like, oh, you should become a sales coordinator. I'm like, I don't really want any team, but I would love to get customers because I just really want to help people with their health. So that was the beginning of my journey. I fall in love with it. I don't have any events for 3 months. I get to QSC in a month. Just sharing, kind of like you were talking about, Kathy, just kind of sharing with life. And I understood it. So I did understand it before I got on it, at least, to a certain level. I understood the difference. And so when I believe in something, I just share it. Like I don't care if it's a church, if it's a book, if it's a restaurant, So for me, it wasn't this like, oh, I have to go do these things, which I know a lot of us feel in the beginning, or a lot of people feel in the beginning, but this is my belief, and this is something I want to share with you guys that hopefully you can share with other people, but I believe every single person, if they understood Juice Plus, would be on it. Like, I don't think anybody would say no. I really don't.
Amen.
It's just they don't understand it. So I believe there is like literally millions of people out there that are like wanting Juice Plus, like whether they realize they want it or not yet or whatever, but like so I don't feel that maybe scarcity mentality we talk about sometimes of like, I don't know who else to talk to or like whatever. I'm like, oh, everybody needs it. I know that. Not everybody might not be in a place of like wanting it, but if I'm just patient, like you were talking about, I think, Melissa, it's like, I'm telling you, almost everybody gets on it. Like if you are just patient and you love them the right way, like it just, I mean, it might take 5 years. It has at times. And then, so like I do things a little differently. I do events a lot now, obviously, but not always. I go in and out of seasons of how often I do them. Obviously that was a crazy season back in the fall. And so I think the most important thing is that and we talk about this all the time, being consistent, right? Consistently talking to people, consistently like just bringing it up. I mean, I pretty much feel like I'm at a point where I can bring it up in any conversation, but always naturally. I'm never weird. I'm never that person. And I'm sure I have certain things I ask sometimes, like if somebody shares a health issue, sometimes I'll say, are you doing anything nutritionally for that? Which of course, they usually look at you like, what the heck are you talking about? Like nutritionally, I just talked about migraines. What does nutrition have to do with that? Because what I've come to realize is the public is so, and I would not like say this publicly, but the public is just so ignorant about nutrition. I mean, that's why, if any of you guys got to catch the PJ Regional, I talk about us becoming educators. Like we're really just educators. And we're educators that are learning. I mean, I don't have any degree. I've just been learning along the way these last 7 years. I mean, Juice Plus gives us so much stuff. I mean, I'm kind of like, when people are like $52 for the, it was 10, but I'm like how much does college cost? Like, I had a nurse practitioner say to me, Kristy, like the $52 alone, just for all the resources. And so that really stuck with me. I will sell our boards, I'll sell the little library of A to Z. I have my own A to Z list actually. And then of course we have the Wendy Campbell one, but, I actually like to be salesy about things that don't necessarily have like money attached to it. And so that's one of the things I will do. I will literally open up the boards and be like, hey, if you become an affiliate, a lot of people like to do this, or like a lot of people going into like us talking about team building and events. So like, I'm really a big believer that everybody wants to save money. Almost everybody. Once in a while, you'll have somebody that like does not care, but it's very rare. Most people would like to save money and most people would like their product paid for. It's so to me, I see Partner Plus as making it more affordable and QSC as getting your product paid for. I understand that it's part of our compensation plan, and I understand that they are like going through the compensation plan and they might start doing a business. But I'm a firm believer that, and there's people, with everything I say, one thing I want to tell you guys is like, there might be some things I say and you're like, nah, that doesn't work for me, and that's okay. I do that all the time. There'll be someone on stage and I'm like, nah, I don't think I want to do that, and that's okay. So I'm just telling you what I do, but it's worked really well for me. So I do want to share, like, I am the person that in the sales world, they call it a slow sale. So I'm the person that actually, believe it or not, does not put order forms in front of people at events. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I just personally don't like that, like myself. So like if I went to an event, so I don't do it. Now, it doesn't mean I don't have them somewhere I can get to if people ask questions. But I make sure that we do very, very, very good follow-up, right? Because one thing that's really on my heart is for us to be able to have a sustainable business. So sometimes when we grow fast, it's not sustainable. I think there is a way to grow fast in a way that's sustainable. But I think what we have to understand is if people are not educated and they do not really understand Juice Plus, right? And they just make an emotional purchase. Even though people unfortunately do, that's usually when they do purchase things is emotionally. But I feel like if they don't understand, they're going to go off it in 4 months. So then I'm kind of like, I haven't really helped them with their health long term. And I definitely haven't helped my business or my team members' business or whatever. So I'm really all about, if it takes them 6 months, if it takes them 12 months, I just had a sourdough workshop the other day, my second sourdough workshop in Tennessee. I just moved here a year ago. And, I'm just slowly being purposeful of building those relationships because I'm not very close to them. They're people I don't know very well. And so I haven't come in hard with my follow-up. I've done the follow-up. I'm continuing to do follow-up with them. I'm continuing trying to like go for a walk with one of them. I'm trying to talk to one of them a lot about the sourdough. Like I'm doing the follow-up, but I'm not like pushing really hard because I see a lot of them as potential partners. And even doing the business besides, I don't always see that with everybody, but these people I do. So I really want them to know my heart. And so that just takes time. Trust takes time. That's just not going to happen overnight. So yeah, I for sure get people that get on right away and are ready and all that. And so, but at the same time, I'm okay if they don't order. I definitely, you can't take it personal. I'm going to talk a lot about that in our call on Wendy Campbell. You really got to detach yourself from the outcome and really kind of what you were saying, Kathy, is you just got to really love that person well, and loving people well takes time and consistency. And those two things I think people struggle with. I think people struggle with giving their time and loving people really well. Not that they don't want to love people well, but it's being very intentional, and so that is what's really helped me. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to be a partner plus. In my brain, like it's rare that I help people become just a partner. Like it doesn't even make sense to me, to be honest with you. I'm like, why would you just be a partner? So I don't say that to them, of course. But the thing that I feel like I would say that becoming a partner plus, like that's like a thing with our team. Like we almost make everybody a partner plus. And I just make it really easy. So Donald Miller was saying to us at the leadership about if you confuse, you lose. And so keeping things very simple. And another thing I will say as a little tip, I feel like I'm all over the place right now, but another tip I would say is being able to visually show people stuff. So last night, I'm just going to randomly share this, but like last night, so we have all these Amish on our team. Like 50 Amish families. So, and growing. And so one of my team members like literally calls me last minute and is like, I'm going over an Amish family's house and there's 11 family members and they all want it. And I'm like, oh my word. Like literally, I'm like literally like sweating. Like, how am I going to like get this for them to understand? And like, that's a lot of, I mean, we're talking like $800 a month, like they're spending. So I'm like, ah. So, but I just put it all down on a piece of paper. It took me a little while. But we got there, and that paper I felt like was so important. We could not just sit there and verbally tell them, or even just show them our compensation plan. I use our compensation plan. I show them certain things, but sometimes I don't show them certain things because I remember how I felt. You kind of have to go back to when you began, and you're like, yeah, that sheet with all those numbers, it was really confusing. I was like, whoa, what is all that? So I think you got to keep things very simple. So for Partner Plus, I tell people here's another thing real quick. Sorry, my brain, this is how it works. People want to do what everybody else is doing. I think through COVID, we saw that with a lot of things. But that's just a human nature, psychological thing. So like I will often use verbiage that way and say, well, like what most people do is, what most people who have families do is, and I do call the Partner Plus a family rebate. I try not to chalk Juice Plus ease. I don't use upline. I don't use even the word Partner Plus. I really, I will at some point, but like in the beginning, that like, what does that mean to them? Nothing. So I try to really like just meet them where they're at. So I just explained to them, I said, what most people do often, I go, and people do different things. So I really try to relieve pressure all the time. I'm relieving pressure, relieving pressure. Um, is I just tell them like what most people do is like one of two things normally. Um, they either get 3 trios. So usually like it's a husband and a wife and maybe an adult child, or a husband and a wife and someone's sister, or maybe you and your parents. Or so again, paint the vision, right? They got to think about, oh yeah, I didn't even think of my parents. Oh yeah, I didn't even think of sharing, so you want to like kind of you're doing like kind of the power of suggestion, it's called, like where you're planning little ideas, right? And then, or I said, what a lot of people do is they'll do 2 quads, and a quad is, right? Because quad is kind of still our verbiage, is this, and either they'll do a protein powder or maybe illuminate. I love that we have another option now, or illuminate. And that gets them $200 back. And right now you get $100, so I just kind of go all of what they get. So I keep it very simple. I don't go into all the details. I don't go into points. I don't go, I don't even show them our little, you know, explanation and compensation plan and stuff like that. I really don't do that. Unless they ask questions, because you'll get those people that want the, the nitty gritty details, and they might, but it's kind of like, I make it simple, and then I see how they respond. I mean, they might respond like, or they might be like, well, wait, what do you mean I get $200 back? Oh, well, how it works is when you become a partner, you get, so then you go into it a little bit more, but you don't want to give them like too much too soon, because you can overwhelm them and then they start backing up. And again, it's just psychology. Like when we feel overwhelmed or confused, we're kind of like, I'm out. So, it works really well. I think I went a little into about how I try to I address all the reasons they would say no. And then without them saying a thing, I just address them. And then I also try to basically every incentive, everything that would make them say yes, I like make sure they know about. So it's, and then another thing to relieve pressure. So it's kind of funny because I'm always, a lot of the stuff I just do naturally. So I have to like think about what I do. But like, one thing I'll say is I'm happy to have you as a customer. I'm like, but right now most people are becoming affiliates because it's $10 and there's no strings attached. So, I mean, you don't have to order a certain amount a month. You don't have to share it if you don't want to. I go, most people do. I go, just because they realize how it helps, their body and their family, and they want to share it with their friends, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And I know some people might say, no, don't say that or something, but like, you guys, it's so weird. If you relieve that pressure, they'll share it. Like they will share it. That's what's so funny. Like they're going to share it. It's just, I mean, not maybe everybody, but majority of people, if they understand it, if you take the time to educate, and that's going to, that takes a time, that's not going to be just from that one conversation, they will share it. So that's why if you just can keep educating, doing the dance, like I like to say, right? So not too much of educating, not too little, which is hard because every person's different, right? So you got to pick up on the cues. That's why you have to ask questions and all those things. So then QSC, basically I tell them you're going to need about 6 to 8 more customers. If you want to pay for your product, you need about 6 or 8 more customers. So again, that sounds a lot better than what some people say 12 trios or whatever, because I've done the numbers. I mean, it is 6 or 8 customers. I mean, you're never going to have 12 people order trios. Like that's just not a thing, right? People are going to order more. Some people might order less. I actually rarely ever do. I don't talk about the duo, to be honest with you. I look like it doesn't exist, because I would rather get someone to Partner Plus than talk to them about the duo. I'm not saying talk about the duo is bad, and sometimes you just have to meet people where they're at, and that's fine. But again, it's not just about my business. I want them to have the most benefit. And I know the research, right? I know the research on what happens when they have the trio in their body. So I'll give you a little tip of this. If somebody does get the duo or wants to get the duo, I say this, I say, hey, yeah, okay, awesome. Yep. The fruit and veggies are really, it's so great what it's going to do in your body, getting those, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just share a little bit of information with you about the berries. Because, basically the trio, so including the berries is what all the research has been done on. And the berries have the highest in antioxidants. It's the synergy of how they all work together, those 30 fruits and vegetables, that really does all that it does. So I just want to send it to you. And that way in the future, right? Take away the pressure. In the future, if you ever want to add it, you can. Almost every time before I'm even done talking, they are like, add the berries. So yeah, isn't it funny? So again, it's a lot of psychology of understanding how we as humans work. And and then I do send them a certain thing. If they don't get on board right away, then I do send them those berries and that information. And then usually by that time that they usually, whatever. So that's just one of my little tips that does work well. Okay, so QSC. So in my opinion, by the time that somebody gets to QSC, now, do they want to do more? Right? Because now they've shared some, now they've been educated more, now they've hopefully been exposed to our community, right? So now they have kind of like a good foundation, in my opinion. So now I feel like they're in a different place in their mind and heart of having that conversation of if they want to do more, right? Whether that's more because I just want to help people. You guys, I have people on my team. Some of the most active people on my team right now could care less about the money. They are just not motivated by the money. There's not. And that's okay. I mean, I have a girl on my team that she's so, I kind of chuckle because she'll always talk about how she's not doing the business and this whole thing. She literally treats it just like a business. And like, and again, it's just meeting people where they're at. It's like, okay, like who else do you want to help? I'm trying to help her see, more recently how helping people with the financial part of it is helping them not only with their financial health, but maybe that's what's going to make them be able to stay on the product. Like maybe they can't afford it or their husband doesn't want them to have it a budget item or something like that. So maybe, it's important to understand the finances, even if you don't care about it for that. Right. So, okay. I've done a lot of talking. What are some questions? Sorry. I could go on and on. I'm a talker if you haven't figured it
Oh
out.
my gosh, I love it all. Okay, I had a question, but now I've forgotten. So anybody who can remember their question, go ahead. I mean, I think it's amazing. You're very business minded. So I think that's really stands out.
Well, I always have questions,
Good,
but
good. Let's see if
but I
anybody.
want to give anybody else a chance because I don't want to dominate their time if they have a question. So if anybody has one, jump in. I'll give you about 5 seconds.
So
Hey,
this
Kristy,
has
I
been,
have a question.
I,
I
okay.
have a question about you disarm all the negatives before they even have a chance. What are some of those responses that you're saying that you're
Yeah. So, as you guys probably know, a lot of people think that becoming a partner, I like to say affiliate, not because partner is bad or anything like that. I think it's way better than what we used to be, distributors and stuff. I just think affiliates more like people are used to that terminology. So that's why I use that. But people are scared. I'm telling you, they are so scared they have to do something. I think in today's world, people are so overwhelmed, right? Like they're mentally just overwhelmed. So that even the thought of like one more thing, right? They think it has to do with doing. So you have to help them understand that they're not going to have to do anything. I mean, other than take care of themselves. I do make that clear. You have to take care of yourselves. And if you have any customers, you're gonna have to take care of them. But like, you don't have to, because you got to remember with direct sales, right? The history, we have to kind of realize the reality of the history with direct sales with, at least other companies. And most people are used to some sort of direct sales, right? At this point, is that they have to like, purchase a certain amount a month. They have to do this. They have to do this. It's like all these like hoops they have to go through and people are like, I'm out. So this just happened this week with one of the girls that came to the sourdough workshop. So, I try to say things like, you don't have to share it if you don't want to, which I know some people probably are like cringing, but you guys, it's just where they're at. Like, I don't know what to say. That's just, I mean, some people they're either terrified to share it, right? Because the whole sales thing or whatever in their mind, or they're just the thought of doing something. Just I'm gonna have something put on me to have to do. So so basically anything you can say to help them know they do not have to do anything other than take care of themselves, put it in an order and you're good. That so I would say not having to buy a certain amount a month, people are worried about that.
No.
People are worried about pressure, right? That people are gonna, because sometimes they've experienced pressure in other direct sales where somebody has been like calling them constantly and all those things. I mean, I even had that experience before. So like no one's gonna pressure you to do anything. So I make it very lighthearted. Hey, if you want to be on Facebook, we have, and so even when I talk about our Facebook group, right? I don't talk about the business. I talk about, we post recipes, we post promotions, we post educational Zoom events. So things that they would care about, right? Because they're not in a place right now to like care about the business. Most people, unless you get the vibe, right? Or like they say something that totally changes everything. So try to think if I'm missing anything, but yeah, I think that's it. I feel like I'm missing something, but I think those are the negatives. Can you guys think of any other negatives that people are kind of scared about?
When I'm talking to people and I'm talking to them and they're just now starting, I tell them, if you have any adverse reactions or whatever, the company will even send you the label to return it for them on free. I mean, the company takes care of the cost to return it. So my analogy is, it's a no-brainer because you're not going to lose anything. Anything that's not open can be returned. So give it a chance, because what company does that? Yeah, we'll mail it back for you.
Can I make a suggestion to you?
Yeah.
In regards to the power of suggestion, it kind of works both ways. So when we say something negative or we say something positive, it works both ways. So I think I do say that sometimes too, if they're like feeling real hesitant. But what I would encourage you to maybe shift a little bit is, instead of saying adverse reactions, just say, for any reason,
There you
don't,
go.
like, it rarely happens, but if for any reason, so you're giving them that way out, like you're trying to relieve pressure type of thing. Any unopened product, they're really great about it, blah, 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 blah. But if you say adverse reactions, even though we know that's rare, they don't really realize that. And
They'll hook onto that.
yes, they will. It's so funny how it's like, I'm amazed at how words matter so much. I really am. Like, we use the word open instead of interested. I mean, it's really funny. It really does matter. Like
That is so true.
So, but I get it. Like, you're doing a great job of making sure that they're just not feeling like it's this huge commitment. It's like, it's gonna be okay. That's great.
I love that. I love, I'm gonna have to re-listen to that. How you just reassure them that they're really just gonna take care of their own orders. And what you're saying also is, that is how you introduce it. But then once they get to QSC, you're gonna revisit, because maybe it isn't just that they wanna, do a few orders. Maybe they do wanna do more. And that's when you talk about that. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And most of the time at that point, I mean, they do. Like, I have a lot of people, I don't know how if you believe in the product and you experience the community at a certain level, I don't know how you don't share it, at least with life. Like at least like here and there. Like, it's kind of like, why would you not? Like, yeah.
Becomes more of a responsibility. Go ahead, Doug.
Oh, Kristy, I want to ask you, it's in the chat, but I want to kind of combine my question with this one. And my question was, I mean, like you said, it's not normal or necessary to do 30 events, especially 30 sourdough events in 30 days, which, by the way, she hit 35, I think, 35 in 30 days. But I don't want to bring back any PTSD from that time period for you. But my question was, how would you even do that? Like, to find enough people to even have people at each event? And then second part of that question Karen asked is, so are they all new people at each event, or were you doing like like if they didn't order, they're coming back to the next event or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was definitely having some anxiety with the follow-up. I can tell you that. It's like, okay, so I've done a lot of stuff in my life, like both with the dental office, and then I helped work a political campaign where I had to, it's like boom, 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 boom. So I think, I've learned just how to be efficient and stuff like that, and to prepare ahead of time, and, timing and stuff. So what I really, to be honest with you guys, where that momentum really started was we had a wellness retreat where I told everyone on my team, you're allowed to bring one person, and I'd encourage you to bring your dream team member, somebody that you want. So it was not a Juice Plus retreat, even though it was. But like you would never have known it was a Juice Plus retreat. So we had Juice Plus, all the speakers were from Juice Plus. We did Juice Plus recipes. We talked about Juice Plus for 10 minutes. And one part we had a natural medicine cabinet. So so that's what kind of got the momentum going, as far as I think some really good team members. And then I'm really big on just, really cultivating and nurturing your team, right? Like keeping those relationships, just like we're talking about with customers, same thing, right? With team. So then I had enough. I mean, really the reality is I've just had enough active people in my team, which is funny. They're not active enough to do their events on their own. I have literally one person just now recently, probably two on my whole team. I have almost 300 team members that do events on their own. That's it. But if I initiate, if I encourage, if I whatever, right, they're usually on board. So I just literally made a list of all the people. I was only going to go for 2 weeks. And then I was like, oh my gosh, as I was doing it, it just kept growing to the point where even when I left myself I don't know, 5 or 6 slots, so to speak, while I was there, and they all filled up, and I had more while I was there, So, obviously the sourdough thing's been quite the fad. I think it's an event that finding events that people are excited about is really, and I tell that to people, anybody who's doing an event, find something that they like, because it wasn't as hard to invite to. That's just I don't know if you guys have found that, but it's just not, people are more apt to say yes. You don't feel kind of like you're pulling teeth as much, I mean, I think inviting is emotionally hard, but no one talks about it, but inviting is exhausting sometimes. And part of it is because we have internal stuff going on inside of us, which I'm going to talk about on the Wendy Campbell team. But yeah, so I just was really strategic. I worked with team members that were active, meaning I didn't try to get people who weren't active. I could have. I had enough team that I could have, but I'm like, nope, I need these lines to grow more. So, or this person wants these goals or what, I worked with my workers, as we like to say. And I just told them listen, we have this many spots. I did it you have to do that way ahead of time, right? Because if you're going to do it that much, even if you're going to do we call them Eventapalooza. So we've been doing Eventapaloozas for almost ever since I've started. We usually would have 4 days, and we would get 7 to 8 events with our whole team in those, and be all different types of events. And those 3 or 4 days our upline, our leaders would come in and do that. So I just kind of took it to a little different level. But yeah, I think you just have to be strategic, and then you have to paint the picture of why it would be fun. And I think sometimes even for team members, just like we're talking about with customers, there can be certain things for team members that makes them want to say no to events or, doing anything like that. So you just, again, you figure out what those things are. A lot of it is marketing. I market to my team, if that makes sense. So I will send pictures of sourdough. I use images and pictures a lot. Even right now, I'm corporate, I think, is putting something together that I'm hoping that we all can use, that really helped me during my 30 sourdough workshop days. And I was like, hey, can you guys do this? Because it really helped me. And it's now it's outdated because it was the fall. And so so you kind of have to market, again, why would this person not want to have an event? Are they, whatever, are they afraid that they have to have a dozen people there, a lot of people there? Are they afraid of having to put the image together? Are they afraid, whatever? You don't know. People don't always, right? Often they don't say what they're thinking. They just say no, or I'm good, or whatever. So I think it's just really, again, taking away the no's, putting all the reasons why they want to say yes. And so that's basically what I did. I'll be honest, I was having anxiety. I had never even had a sourdough workshop. I now I look back and I'm like, I am crazy. But like, just because I was so concerned about having people having healthy starters. But I think what it is sometimes, and I'm gonna talk about this on the Wendy Campbell call, but like, you guys, we just gotta do it. Like, we just
Yeah.
gotta do it afraid. Like, we just gotta do it. We just gotta be like, I don't know how to do this. I'll figure it out. Like, I'll figure it out. And we have
Right.
so many sidelines and so many people that are willing to help us. We just have to ask. Like, I remember Voxering Michaela and being like, hey, Michaela, I know you don't know me, blah, blah, blah. I'm having, I know it's kind of crazy, 30 sourdough workshop. I'm like, do you have any tips? Like, literally, that was me. And so she was like, dang girl, what are you doing? I'm like, I know, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, and it was okay. I was like, literally you guys, on my way to my first sourdough workshop, I had my first at my house and I went to Indiana. On the way to Indiana, I realized that I do not have the thing to bake it in. I was like, oh my word. So I was like, oh, I'm sure she'll have something. I'm sure she'll have something. She didn't have anything. She's like, well, what about this? And she brings out like a huge turkey roaster. I'm like, sure. Let's do it. And you know what? I used that as a fun thing to talk about the rest of it just kept evolving all the workshops. Like I kept using different funny things that people would say or happened and so I guess what I would say to that is just, you do not, I know we say this a lot, but we do not have to be perfect. Actually, people don't want you to be perfect. You're not relatable if you're perfect, if you do everything perfect. Like I think Anthony said recently, I did an event the other day and I had dishes in my sink dirty. I was like, yes. I'm like, do it, girl. And I've appreciated that about Anthony. I appreciate friends that I can go to their house and their house is a mess. Because that's how my house most of the time is. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying you can't clean your house and whatever. There's definitely some good, but
That's good.
yeah.
Well, you are just like it's like a nuclear bomb was dropped on us with information, and this is definitely something that hello Facebook, you guys almost have the advantage being on Facebook today because you can go back and rewind this. And but I just want to point out a couple of things that I noticed that makes Kristy unique, and probably are some keys to her success. I mean, she's doing a lot of the basics that we all try to do, but did you notice how over and over, like there's a couple of things that were I thought were unique, and that is, first of all, her mindset. She has this positive mindset that everybody needs Juice Plus, everybody wants Juice Plus, every team member can do an event with her, and if she just prompts them, they'll go for it and they'll do it, and she's willing to go for it. There's this mindset of like positivity that makes it I don't know, just probably easier to just go out and talk to people and do events and do everything. But even less common that I'm seeing from you, and less common, and we all could get better at, is that you're thinking like a leader and you're thinking like with a business mindset. Did you notice how, I mean, you could almost see, I mean, she didn't tell us this, but you could almost see this line of where she can think of like cold market to prospect, and then how does that prospect come to an event, and then they become maybe a customer, but then they can become a partner plus and save a little money. They can become QSC and pay for their products. And it's just really refreshing for me to see somebody that's really thinking like a business owner. Like I mean, what else? How else would you think if you want to have a business that pays you good money? You have to think like a business owner. I mean, because she could have done 30 sourdough events in 30 days and easily had like, like 100 new customers, but nothing else come from it, which is kind of nice. But she probably doesn't want to have 150 customers, and I mean, who wants to take care of 150 customers? Let's turn them into team members, which she's also extremely strategic about. So I want to encourage everybody to think about your business. Think about how business works. Think about what you want the outcome to be, and then plan accordingly, like she's doing, in order to make that happen. Sharon, I'll turn it back over to you to kind of finish up here. But Kristy, thank you. There were so many good things in that. I took a lot of notes.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. And I think that we can all work harder on just making it seem easy for Partner Plus. I love that. It is easy. And we are not making demands on people. And don't they have their own Juice Plus that they want for their family and one extra person maybe, or the 2 quads and a shake or 2 quads and an illuminate? I mean, it's really simple. It made me think about my person that just ordered a quad, and then I said, oh, don't you want your child free? So I'm working on that. But I also could have said something to her, you know, you can become a partner. Right now it's only $10. And I know you probably are going to want to order more for your growing family, you know, something like that. So just, we have to grow our businesses with partners. It really, that's how we're going to grow our businesses. So we need to really think more about the business. And I love that you said getting $200 back. So that's $100 express track bonus. And you're saying $100 sales profit, right? Is that where you're getting the 200?
Yeah, so it's, I mean, it depends, right? It can be a little less,
Around.
a little more. It just depends on what they order, but it's, you know, $200. It's pretty
I
much.
mean, that puts it really simply. And then she started to say, and at this time, you can also get a sample box of all the different products, you know? I mean, the company couldn't be doing more for us to make it part of our conversation. Now they want to reward us if we help 2 people get to Partner Plus, they want to give us more money. So, you know, that is where we need to focus. Whatever event or whatever conversation, we need to have that in our mind, okay?
Can I show you guys 2 things real quick? I
Yes,
know we're supposed to be
please.
ending. Can I share my screen?
Oh,
I
yeah,
bring it,
absolutely.
I gotta bring it up while you're doing that,
We
but
appreciate it. If
yeah,
someone
this
wants to
is,
go, they can go.
these are boards that have helped me with what we're talking about. So I absolutely, it's so funny, you guys. I was like, I'm not going to do boards came on board when I was involved in that campaign,
Uh-huh.
and it came on the scene, and I was like, oh, I do not want to do another, you know, another
Right.
thing. And it's just so funny, you know, when we just do new things, even if we're like kind of resistant to it, how it can be so helpful. Okay, I will share my screen now.
And if you don't mind sending me those links, I was trying to find the links, but I love your pages. So she calls them boards. I mean, they're also
I call them board just because it confuses people, but you're right, they're
No.
pages.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're
Yeah.
beautiful.
So this is what I send somebody if they are thinking about, and I can send you guys what I send. So in the sourdough workshops, which I'm starting to think maybe I need to do a little bit more of this with other events too, but it's easy with a sourdough workshop where I do a 24 to 36 hour text with them. And so I have like a list of all these different things. There we go. So this is one of the things that'll be on there, considering becoming a Juice Plus affiliate.
Hmm.
And you know, I suggest this affiliate option if you connect with any of the following. You guys are going to laugh, but none of this stuff, I know corporate probably would get on me for this, but like, I have nothing about earning extra income, but you can add that for yourself. But I don't, because for me, I feel like it's something where people would say no. And I might have the next NMD that's saying no because they're thinking I want them to do the business when they're going to do the business eventually, you know? So this is just my way I do it, but you can add to it and change it. But all these things I think people can relate to. And then it just says, how does it work? So it's really simplistic. And then compensation plan if they want to go deeper. And then it just says become an affiliate. Here I have healthy living events. And if you press on healthy living events, because for some people, the healthy living events alone could draw them in, right?
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of all the healthy living events. So this could get someone excited just looking at this, right? Just looking at all the events that we do type of a thing. And then the other thing I wanted to show you guys was, let's see if I can get back here, is our welcome to the Juice Plus family. So once they say yes to it, then we have this, and it pretty much goes over everything. So this is something you can go through with them, or this is something they could do on their own because some people just want to do their own thing, you know, and that's fine. So it kind of helps them, you know, introduce them. And again, this is not super heavy on the business. It's just not. I think people give me like I can tell when someone wants to do more with it. I rarely get that in the beginning, by the way. But I mean, it'll come out pretty soon, and then I'll start talking that way more. And I'll share my business story. Don't get me wrong, you know, often in the beginning, but I do it with just more of a like how life-giving it's been for me, you know, how I'm so thankful for it and how I've been able to help a lot of people. I don't like necessarily go into all the income because for a lot of people that can make them not even order. So I have my own video. It says, how do I place an order? So people can do it on their own if they want to. And then basically I go right to, I'd like to reduce my costs or get my products paid for. And in a very simplistic way, without all the details, I explain, you know, how to get there so they can read it on their own. Because again, a lot of times when people see it visually and can like read it and look at it and reread it, they're going to get it more than if I'm just telling them verbally. And here's the qualified sales coordinator. And again, here's the compensation plan. Then I go down here talking about sharing it. So if they do want to share it, and it says share with those you know. And then I actually have all these different, basically, some of them are boards, some of them are videos, whatever, all these different people in different situations, because this is gonna like, it's kind of like helping them have a memory jogger.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, it jogs their memory of people.
Uh-huh. And then it just says, you know, ask us how to personalize your websites. Here's that events thing again. And then this is helping them get on boards, Voxer, Facebook, so on and so forth, social media. So just some extra stuff. So anyways, that's been really helpful to me as even a leader and someone doing this business. It just helps me because I can say, hey, and I'll even screenshot some things, right? I'll send it to them and say, hey, I'll screenshot the part I want them to go look at and say, hey, go to this part. And you guys, screenshotting things is like your best friend. I'm telling you, it is your best friend. It's such a time saver for people.
So what are you screenshotting? I'm sorry.
Everything.
It's part of the board that she wants them to look at.
Anything, yeah. So instead of having to get on the phone, even Voxer or whatever, you can screen stuff. So like if someone's like, how do I do this? How do I do that? You know, I'll just screenshot, do arrows, and I'll send them 3 screenshots.
Yeah.
Or if I want them to look at something specifically on that link, right? Like I'm like, for instance, like on my farm to capsule link,
Yeah.
Ethany and Amy are on there sharing their audio, like in 2 to 3 minutes, sharing their experience at the farm. I asked them to put that together after they went, and I want people to listen to that. So, but it's down a little ways. So I take a screenshot of Ethany, picture of her on the farm, and then it says Ethany and Amy. I'll be, hey, check this out. It's only 2 or 3 minutes. Create curiosity. Last thing I'll say is create curiosity to help people want to press the link. Oh my gosh, you're going to love these 2-minute videos on the farms and on the process of how they go from the farm to the capsule. And my friend, she got to go to the farm, and she shares in like 2-3 minutes, just like her experience there. It's pretty cool.
So,
right.
Yeah, we used to say, I mean, we still do sometimes, sell them on the education. So what you're doing is you're selling them on, I mean, you know, because you're giving them the why. Why would they want to look at that? And that's what we do all the time. Why would they listen to Voxer? Why would they listen to this certain video? You have to personalize it and make it where they want to listen to it. So thank you. I hope that you'll send me those board links. I have them somewhere on Voxer because Amy was showing me and Julie. And yeah, we could make them for our team if you don't mind. That would be great.
Yeah, I'll send your way.
So thank you. And
Thank you so much.
you guys let me know what you guys thought of Kristy, and also tell her goodbye and how much you appreciate it.
It was very good. Thanks,
Thank you.
Kristy.
Thanks, guys. It's good to hang out together this morning for me.
Yeah.
It's also great information because not only can the team go back to like our Team Transformers and watch this, but now we really can say, okay, you have to join the Wendy Campbell to really hear all the, you know, all the information she's going to share. So it's so simple, but yet like, I don't even do it all the time. I know what to do sometimes, but I don't even do it all the time. You know, you just forget. So it's not difficult, but it can be time consuming. And it's just doing it. It's repetitive behavior. So
When are you talking on the Campbell team?
June 3rd. I'm gonna think for a second. June 3rd. Yeah, I can resend that if you don't have it, Sharon.
I have it. I'll put
Yeah, we
that. I
have
think I did put it in the thing, but I'll do it again right now.
Because we need to have all of our teams watch that. Way to
Okay.
go, Kristy.
I think it's a call.
Right.
It's on the Campbell team call.
Yeah, it's the once a month call.
Gotcha.
Ethany did it last month, and then she'll be introducing me.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's great. What an honor. Okay, well, we look forward to Kristy becoming an NMD. You're a QNMD right now, right?
Yeah,
Really close.
there. You know, I've been close off and on or whatever. I have the paycheck of an NMD, and that's what matters the most to me, to be honest. So,
Right. I know.
but I want to get there because I would like the medical benefits and stuff like that. So I'm going for it.
Woo! Good,
Cool.
good.
Way to go.
All right. Well, if we can help in any way, let us know.
Thank you guys.
All right. Bye, guys. Have a
Thanks
good
again,
Thank you.
Kristy.
Have a good
Bye.
weekend, you
Oh,
guys.
no lunch and learn Monday. We're gonna celebrate Memorial Day. Right?
Yep.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.